Welcome to The Perfect Exposure, where every episode we bring to you home industry experts where we discuss related topics. I'm your host, Mary Coons of Mary Light Photography, and I'm here today with
Lindsay Wolcott, owner of the Beverage Cart Mobile Bar.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
I'm super excited that you're here.
Do you realize I've been waiting for this for ever?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's funny too because actually met you first.
Mm-hmm.
And then I met your husband, Anthony,
Yep.
after. I mean, he wasn't even in real estate.
No.
So I met you because you were selling your house.
Yep. Oh my gosh, what year was that? 2000?
I don't know. It feels like a long time ago.
It must have been 2016 or 2017 because the Bev Cart was in the driveway when you were there.
It was that long ago?
Yeah.
Because so even though our business technically didn't start until 2022, I was shooting for Jamie for years prior.
Yeah.
And I remember your house. Mm-hmm. I remember your kids. Were they little?
Just Chase.
They were just Chase.
Chase, yeah.
It was just Chase. And you were like, my husband's a police officer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then you had the mobile Bev cart, or you had the Bev cart?
The Bev cart. Yeah, that was in the driveway, and you were like, "What the heck is this?"
Yeah.
And I was like,
"Oh, this is what I do."
Yeah.
I think it was it wintertime too? It was cold.
I remember
out.
Being very cold but sunny.
Oh yeah,
I don't know why.
Really
I can
bright and
picture
sunny.
it.
Yeah.
And I just remember we were moving. So you were taking pictures of the house, interior and exterior, and Chase was so little. He was
in diapers.
Yeah, he wasn't even one yet.
Yeah.
And we just we put him in the car seat and just kept moving him around from room to room while you shot the house.
I'm barely remembering this, but remembering it at the same time.
So funny.
And then that was that was the first time I met you. And then when Anthony became a realtor, I saw you at an event at Oxford Property Group.
Oh, yes.
And Jamie was like, don't you remember Anthony's wife?
We were like,
and
what?
I was like, she's so familiar.
That is too
And you were like,
funny.
yeah, you took pictures of my house.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
But it took me a second. I was
because it'd been a long time.
Right.
And the whole, everything shifted.
Everything.
So it was a whole different dynamic.
Yeah.
So what I remember the most about that day is that you had this thing in your driveway. And I was like, what is it? And you were telling me all about it.
Because technically it hadn't started yet.
Yeah.
We were still I think the outside of the Bev cart was done, so you saw the red siding and all that, but the inside was still kind of a mess. But yeah, you saw it, you asked, and I told you, and you were like, well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Can you come to my house?
So tell me, I know, and now you're here. That's hilarious. But tell me about your, what is the Bev cart?
Yeah.
And then tell me how you came up with it.
Yeah, so the Bev cart is my baby. Bev Cart Mobile Bar, I do a bunch of weddings, festivals, car shows, backyard private parties, really anything. And it's an absolute blast. It's a ton of work, absolute ton of work, but it's a lot of fun. Really, though, the way it came out, I always bartend and waitressed around town, a few different restaurants in Schenectady area. And one day, it was actually really funny. My mom and I were just sitting on the deck, hot summer day. We were like, what can I do differently? I want to do something different. I love bartending. I love waitressing. I love talking to people. That's what I'm passionate about. And at the time, my father wanted to get rid of his camper. And I'm like, we were just talking and we were like, what if I turn that into a literal mobile bar? And we were like, no, you can't do that. Laws, New York State, no way is that going to be possible.
Right.
And I just the next month I was research, figuring it out. And it is huge out west where they can do it year round. And I've seen all these cool retro vintage campers getting flipped into these mobile bars. I was like, that's it. Dad, I got a good spot for your camper, my driveway. And it just kind of took off from there. We kind of looked over the camper. It was an old camper. It's a 1975 Terry camper. Real cool, vintage vibe, and that's where I wanted to go. And we were like, we're doing this. We're doing it. My dad and my husband, Anthony, ended up building the whole thing, the whole Bev cart. But when they were going to gut the original camper, they were like, oh, God, filled with rot,
Oh,
literally
no.
falling over. And we're like, no. They're like, you better figure out something else. And my stubborn brain, I'm like,
Yeah.
no, you need to make this work. Figure it
I
out,
would have been the
boys.
same way.
Figure it out. But finally, we just, Anthony helped me a lot, kind of, design something, and we took it down to the frame, and they built it up from the frame.
So it's partly still the original camper.
Yeah, and that's, the cuteness behind it.
There's a
still,
story there.
Yeah. My parents named their camper Hazel.
Aww.
So we call it, Hazel 2.0.
Oh, my gosh. That's super cute.
But, yeah, so there is definitely a story behind it. Again, wouldn't have gotten started on my mobile bar business without that camper.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So how does it work? You have the camper mobile bar, and you take it with you.
Yep.
To an event.
Tow it with a truck. Yep.
Do you tow it?
I do.
Oh my God,
yep.
girl.
Year 4, I finally was like, you know what? I don't want to rely on anybody. I want to do
Yes.
this. So I got in it. No, really, nobody. I was like, Anthony wouldn't help me because he's like, we're going to fight. And I'm like,
It's
come
true.
on.
It's true. If he
it's
knows
so
you're gonna
true.
fight. Yeah.
So true.
Yep.
He'll give me advice. And I'll be like, nope, I'm not listening to you. I'll run it in off the road probably. And then my dad didn't want anything to do with it.
Gosh.
Teaching me how to tow. So
Yeah. You self-taught.
it was actually really funny. One of my events, the furthest from my house, is when I got in the driver's seat and drove it home.
Oh my gosh.
Cambridge,
That's
New York.
the best way to learn, honestly.
And it was awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
I white knuckled the whole ride.
Oh my gosh. But you
My
must
poor
have been
mother.
so proud when you finished that
I felt
gig.
really, really cool. There's actually a video.
Aw.
My dad was so proud of me. He was standing out on the road watching me pull up, and
That's
I'm like,
adorable.
I did it. But yeah, it
You
took
have
a
to
while.
does he have the video?
Yeah.
You
oh,
should
yeah.
you put that on your website.
Yeah, I did. I should.
Play that all the time.
Yeah.
I would love to rewatch
I did it. But yeah, so, I mean, I'll tell the truth. Backing up is still an issue.
Yeah.
If I know I'm going to a tight space, I'll still have, someone tow
else
it for me.
The weird part about backing up with a trailer, I didn't have a camper, but I had a trailer. And you're like, how do I, what?
And
I'm
have blonde and Polish in me, so I'm like, oh my gosh. But it just takes me a second. No one can talk to me. I just have to zone in and I'll figure it out. But no tight spaces.
Yeah.
No.
That seems like a big headache and the stress you don't need right before.
Honestly,
an event.
there's a ton of stress in the mobile bar business. I don't think people realize. I'm at events and people are like, oh, this must be so fun, bartending all the time. And I'm like, yeah, it is when I'm here from the 4 hours that I'm serving. But the whole entire week prior, I'm stressing about a shopping list. Who's going to bartend with me? Are we going to run out of alcohol? All that stuff. So transport to and from. It's
there's a lot involved.
Yeah, a lot involved.
So from what I recall, the guests provide the alcohol.
Yeah, so it's pretty straightforward. I literally show up to these events and there's a pile of alcohol waiting for me. Whether it's a wedding, a private event, even corporate events. Anything that is not open to the public, my clients provide the alcohol. And I come with everything else. Your drinkware, your ice, your mixers, your garnishes for your cocktails. And I also bring the non-alcohol stuff too. We usually work on a drink menu, a select drink menu.
Right.
Because, I'm only the bev card. I can't stock an open full bar
a
a restaurant.
Yeah, that would be insanity.
But yeah, so if I do a car show or a food truck festival, stuff like that, I will just be selling beer and wine and some seltzers and sangria. I've totally added on to that list.
I love that.
And I get a permit for the day through New York State.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's super legit. You're so legit.
So legit. I am certified
legit?
too.
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool. I didn't know they had that.
Yeah, so I have full liquor, general liability.
Oh, cool.
My rear end is covered no matter what.
That's awesome.
And that's what was really, really important for me. And that's why I kind of, obviously, I'm so legit. I have an LLC.
Good for you.
It's just what you have to do.
Yeah. Well, you protect your family when you do that. Yep.
Exactly. I got a lot of other assets at home that I would
you
never
don't need
want.
to mess up at work. Yeah,
right.
I get it.
Yep.
I get it.
So, yeah, that's how it works. It's so easy. And I've never, ever had any issues with my clients being like, oh, really? You don't supply everything? Because
they understand.
Yeah, they understand. We build a great relationship coming up with the drink menu. We bounce ideas off of each other because I think they like it too because then they get some input. I'm not just going to be like, I'm coming with this margarita, this Moscow Mule, and this Old Fashioned.
Right.
I'm like, what do you want? What do you want?
You partner with them.
Yeah.
The decision making.
And I help them decide how much alcohol to buy.
Right.
You know, inside BevCart, we have a 2-tap kegerator.
Yeah.
So people love having the beer on tap. So you just go to your local Bev center, get a keg,
Ooh.
and I'll throw it in the kegerator.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and then you have the itty bitty one.
Yeah, recently. So BevCart was 2018, I got it up and running.
Mm-hmm.
It was an idea 2016, 17. Took about a year and a half to build. But yeah, I did that for about, I think I said 4 years, 4 years-ish. And then just last year, or the year before, I was like, I want to do this during the winter. Like, how can I do this? So I had Little Bev made, and that's just a little indoor-outdoor bar you can set up wherever. Actually, a lot of summer events I've done Little Bev, too.
It's air-conditioned inside.
Yeah, right.
You're
right,
like, I don't
right.
mind being inside in summer either.
I mean, that's worked out great. Me and another bartender fit great behind it. I have a nice, like, ice station behind me.
It's a super cute
setup.
setup.
Yeah. I love Little Bev. And it's become a cute little fleet of, you know, whatever. And then I like to give my clients the option of which one they want.
Right.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Like, we had you guys here for our very first headshot event.
Yep.
Was it? It was January last year.
Was it?
A year ago.
Have we done it a whole year? I remember it being cold.
It was a year ago.
Yeah. Headshot happy hour.
Yes.
So fun.
And now we're doing it again.
Yep.
January 29th.
Yep.
Right? 4 to 8.
4 to 8 here.
Yeah.
At the studio.
Yep.
Little Bev will be here.
And we got to figure out our apps and which.
Yeah, we got to figure out
drinks
apps again.
We're going to pick this time.
Yeah. I mean,
Speaking
sangria.
of drinks.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers. This is a delicious.
You can't have the Bev cart as a guest and not me bring a drink.
Right? Yeah. That's delicious. I love that one.
Story behind the sangria. It's actually called Cece's Sangria.
Oh.
And my mom is known for this sangria. She brings it to all family, friend events, and it's really taken off with the Bev cart.
Is your mom Cece?
Yes.
Okay.
So my mom
I was
is
like,
Cece.
I take it your mom is
Yeah,
Cece.
yeah. She's one of my main bartenders, which I love. I absolutely
That's so
love.
cute.
Yeah, my mom does it with me.
Aw.
Roles have been reversed.
Yeah.
Like, I tell her what to do now. No,
That's
it's
so
like
funny.
so much fun to work with her.
Aw.
Yeah, so the CC Sangria really took off. Everybody loves it. It's easy, too, because
What's
I
in
make a
it?
big batch. It's just vodka, a little triple sec, and it all depends on the juice you use.
Yeah.
This is a strawberry cranberry.
Yeah.
So it's still like a lighter.
It's sweet.
And then I like a little spritz, so
Yeah.
I top it with some bubbles.
It's like perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. It's refreshing.
It is.
Definitely in the summer. Super
Yeah.
popular one.
I don't know. I like it now.
I know,
in
right?
January.
I mean, give me anything. Oh, I'm breaking dry January for this podcast. I was trying to do it.
Oh, no.
What day is it?
Sorry.
It's the 9th.
We're a bad influence.
It's the 8th. Too funny.
For those of you who are doing dry January, keep going.
Keep going.
Good job.
January 8th. I made it far.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Oh
That
my
is
God.
so funny.
That's embarrassing.
So tell me a little bit about like what you kind of went in on this a little bit, but like a typical event would look like. We'll talk about the original Bev mobile Bev mobile
Mobile
bar.
Yeah.
And like what your typical day looks like. Like,
well, don't forget I have 2 little kids and I work full time. So my normal day is, and again, I mean, Bev cart season is very popular late spring, all summer, and all fall. Fall is like Bev's season. Like
Really?
everybody wants Bev cart in the fall.
I can
I mean,
see
she goes
that.
really well with fall.
She's
really a red.
yeah.
She fits in with the leaves.
Yeah.
She looks stunning, especially at a fall wedding.
She looks seasonal. Yeah.
But really popular then. So it's a lot when I'm working full time. Granted, my full time job, I work from home, so I am able to focus a little bit on both. But yeah, it's a grind. So I plan for the event. You know, I'm booking these events way out. Like I'm already booking fall 2025.
Oh my
so
gosh.
I have first a little bit of communication with the bride and groom or whoever. Hi, it's not. I don't do only weddings. I do a lot of events.
Do you have a preference? Like
So
what
it's-
you want more of?
It's actually really funny you say that. This past year, 2024, I didn't have one wedding.
Weird.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
I'll get into that. That's about like I think the whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
So I'll back up with that. But I had all corporate events and like festivals, and it was so much fun.
Are they a little bit earlier?
Earlier.
Yeah.
I'm not out till 2 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
Which I don't mind. I still don't mind. I love partying with the wedding crowd. They are so much fun.
Yeah.
I mean, how can it not be fun?
Right.
But yeah, the corporate events are really nice. It's like a set price, set, amount of people. They only want beer and wine usually because, I mean, corporate, you can't get crazy.
Right.
But, yeah, it's really awesome. But I do love a good wedding.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like, let's do the week prior to the event. I'm making a shopping list, figuring out what I need, how many cups I need to order, straws, mixers, garnishes, all that. Lining up a bartender. I have a solid 3. My mom being one. My best friend, Kelsey, she's my ride or die bartender as well. And then my sister. My sister's actually involved with it, too. It really is a family thing.
So cute.
I would not have this business without my family. Aww. Whether it's my dad, who helped my husband build it, watch kids while my mom and I bartend, or just anything. Like, they're so involved, and I'm so grateful for them because I would not be able to do this without them. So, yeah, I figure out who's going to bartend with me. Usually, if they don't have something going on, they're jumping all over it because it's fun.
Right,
it really is a good time.
Yeah.
Doing that, last minute, any requests from my client, and then I usually show up probably 2 to 3 hours prior to the event just so I can get all set up, situated, and then we start going. Music turns on wherever it's coming from. I mean, I have a speaker in the bev cart too, so that's another thing. If like you're having a backyard party, no music, I'll play the music. And we start going, and we serve, and we, usually my events are 4 to 5 hours. For weddings, a lot of the times, when you're like late night at a wedding, you don't want it to end. So the bride and groom come over and we're like, we'll pay you to stay another hour. I'm like, hey, if I got the supply, I'll stay.
Yeah.
Do your guests need another hour?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah, you're probably the best judge of that when they're coming up there.
Yeah, it's so funny to be on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Like, I was once those, I am that guest sometimes at a wedding, but it's just so funny to see. And it's just, everybody's so happy. Yeah. And the good thing about BevCart is like I'm always involved with a happy environment. Right. If that makes sense. Yeah. Like, I know a lot of bars probably see a lot of people miserable sitting at the bar and like, you know, whatever it be, but everybody's happy when they're coming up to BevCart.
It's like selling ice cream to people.
Yeah.
They're not there to be angry.
Right. I'll talk to a fly on the wall. So that's why it's fun. Yeah. It is fun.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's really kind of like the rundown of how I prep. Make sure the kids are accounted for, whether it be Anthony or, again, my parents or someone to watch the kids for the event. Right. I feel like, that week prior to the event, I'm pulled in a million directions, just trying to have to, like, figure everything out.
That is a lot. I imagine, like...
For festivals, too, it's a lot because I got to pick up the beer. You got to keep it cold. Yep. So I store the bev cart at an outdoor storage spot. So I have to bring it back to the house to plug it in to get the kegerator cold. Yeah. Get the kegs in because you don't want warm beer.
What kind of festivals are you doing?
Not so much festivals, but the Saratoga Auto Museum. Oh, cool. They hold a lot of car shows, motor car auctions, and I'm their go-to. And I love the director of events. She's amazing. I've been working with her probably 6 years now. I think almost as long as I've been in business. We do the spring show with them. We do the motor car auction. It's just so much fun. I love that vibe too. Everybody who's obsessed with cars, old cars, they come walk around, and it's just
a good crowd.
It's a good crowd. There's a bunch of food trucks, awesome food trucks. It's just, again, everybody's happy.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, that does sound like
fun.
A dream.
Yeah. So
low stress. It's an event.
But by November, I am like, I take a deep breath.
You take a break.
I'm ready for a little break. Like, it's been crickets.
I've heard you say that a few times. Yeah. You're like, I really needed a break this year.
I think this year was my first year I learned to not say no, but really not stretch myself. Like sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, we were doing 2 events a weekend, and I was just like,
oh my gosh, and working full time, and small kids.
I'd have like staging in the garage, like, okay, this is Friday's event, this is Saturday's event, and I was just like so burnt out. Right. If I could just show up and serve, I would do it all day long, every day, week. But it's all the prep that is like, wow.
And outsourcing that to other people is probably super hard because of...
Wait, do you know me?
Yes.
You know
like,
me?
because of, well...
my control issues? No.
Well, it's your baby.
Yes.
So
yes.
I can understand and relate.
Yes, I have learned to delegate a little bit.
Yeah. The things that don't... I mean, it's hard. I mean, I guess everything kind of matters.
I know.
So letting it go,
When I'm giving my shopping list to someone, but I need to touch the limes.
Yeah.
I need to know how my limes are going to come out.
And it's not that ginger ale. It's the other kind.
I know.
I get it.
You didn't get sugar-free lemonade?
Oh,
What?
no.
No, but
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah.
And again, last year was a breeze with the corporate events. It was awesome. Really straightforward. So I was able to actually plan and do my own shopping and do all that. I think for weddings are definitely it involves way more. Just because, oh my gosh, having the bride and groom upset, you never want that.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh. So I go above and beyond, no matter what.
We used to do a lot of weddings.
Yeah.
And that whole industry is so different than even a corporate event.
Mm-hmm.
So the hardest part, I think, and actually the bride and groom always seem to be the least difficult.
Yeah.
It's the parents.
Yeah, parents.
And the...
sometimes some friends.
Yeah,
I'm like, come on.
The best, not the best man, usually the best man. I like it.
He usually just has a flask in his pocket.
Yeah,
I barely see the best man. He's just doing his own thing.
For me, it was like mother of the bride, mother of the groom actually had more issues than mother of the bride.
Wow.
I think I don't know. It's like that's just a statistic. But then never had any issues with like the event staff. Everybody always seems to work together really well.
Some of the venues I have worked at, they are great. There's one venue I did a lot of weddings with, the Providence Barn. Mm-hmm. Is
that Providence, New York? Or is that just called Providence Barn?
Stone of Arabia, actually.
Oh.
So it's out past Fonda. It's way out there. So I met them when I was living in Fultonville. So I was like, this is a breeze. 15 minutes down the road. Like, I'll do every wedding with them. It'll be amazing.
And now you're here.
Well, now I'm in Glenville, and it's a good 40 minutes. Yeah. So those weddings that ended at, 1, I wouldn't get home till I remember 2:33. Yeah. But they are just, I really felt like family with them.
Yeah.
So I booked so many weddings with them. They had a bridal, kind of like their own bridal fair, like, wedding show where, recent engaged couples could come, tour the property, and which was awesome about Providence Barn. They invited all the vendors. And I had met them previously, so they invited me to come up. I did like mimosas and sangria, just samples, and I actually booked the year, I think it was 2020, because it was when COVID, shut every venue down. They canceled everything. Businesses like myself and an outdoor barn, we thrived because everybody could still have their events. A lot of weddings that I booked changed it up to backyard weddings, beautiful backyard weddings. They would get these beautiful tents, and it would just be magical inside under the tent. And then, I would pull up, and I have cafe lights around. So we would really, fit in with each other. Yeah. But anyway, Providence Barn, they just kind of welcomed me. And I booked, I think last 2 years ago, we did 6 or 7 weddings together.
Oh my gosh.
And by the end of the season, we were like best friends. We just vibe off of each other, and they're just great people, great people. So I miss them. I haven't seen them in a while because last year I didn't have one wedding.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. So I'm assuming people are back to like
the venue.
bigger events.
Yeah,
and
I think so.
And they're hiring in-house bartenders or part of the package.
A lot of these venues have their own bar service.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not trying to compete with that at all.
Yeah, it's a different service.
I am totally fine with what I got going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like to me, though, the corporate events and the fun, like, I don't know, car show type events.
I've done a couple food truck festivals. Those are fun too because everybody loves to. Oh my gosh, I can get a beer with my sub.
Oh my gosh,
everybody's pretty happy with
especially
that.
if it's a hot day. Yeah, and it's like you want something cold and refreshing.
Yeah,
super cool. Mm-hmm. So, do you have any goals or aspirations for the beverage cart?
Well, I would love another one.
Really,
like 2 mobile bars, but I can't get ahead of myself. So I am in such a tough spot because my kids are young.
Yep.
Chase is 8. He's really into soccer right now. I don't want to get pulled away from the weekends, missing those weekend games or staying out late and not being with it in the morning. You know, I just don't want to. Ellie, she's 5. She's in gymnastics. So I know, like, when you have a business, you kind of keep growing. Yeah. But, like, I am so happy where I'm at right now.
I love that.
Like, I get to be a part of all that stuff.
And have fun.
And I get to do these events. And I'm just really loving. I don't want to get burnt out.
Yeah.
I don't. I've talked to a couple other mobile bar owners, like, more downstate, more out west. And they're like, honestly, like, usually the timeline of a mobile bar is 5 years. And I'm going into my 7th year. So
is it because
they just get burnt out?
They burnt out.
Yeah. So I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I love where I'm at.
Yeah.
I would have to then start hiring people. And I just love how
it's a lot.
It's low key, but it's not.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just love my little group.
Yeah, I was going to say, it would have to be sort of organically sort of growing with where you have met somebody who maybe has another business and like
so I'm
partner.
Good right now.
Yeah, that's
I'm
perfect.
Good. With Little Bev.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know I have the 360 photo booth.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's like side.
It's super cool
it's
though.
It's fun. I do proms.
Yeah.
That was a huge hit. I did the Mahonison prom last year.
Yeah.
Weddings, birthday parties.
It looks like so much
that's
fun.
That's fun too. But I think I got enough going on.
Yeah.
I do. I don't know.
You're like, no, I don't think.
But then
I
that's
know.
me. I'm always striving for more. I'm always trying to do more.
Well,
so.
and that's the business brain in me is like,
I know.
She's really booked up.
I'm money hungry.
Yeah.
I mean, who isn't?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, Anthony, should I get a part-time job? He's like, well, you just sit still. And I'm like,
yeah,
but I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I have a hard time.
I know.
It's not that that life is boring. No. It's just that I feel like you grow when you do something new and you try something different. Your brain chemistry changes. You either love it or you hate it, or you fail and you learn, or you fail and then you try again.
Yep.
Because and like those are things that I love to overcome.
And I learn something new every year with my mobile bar.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited this year to do things that I found out last year that would benefit me.
Okay.
So I'm just...
So you're always learning new things still.
Yeah, always. Yeah. Always. I've mastered the quantity of what I need. Literally mastered it. Like, I don't...
Is it all in here?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Everybody's like, so what, how do you do this or that? And I'm like, I can't tell you because it's literally just in there.
Right. Like, oh my gosh, first couple seasons, we have a big garage out back of our house, and there's a fridge in it. Anthony's like, this is going to be my garage fridge. I'm going to stock it.
Hold up.
Oh, it's all Bev Cart stuff. It's all leftover margarita stuff. Yeah. And I actually have a couple kegs in there, like the tall, skinny ones.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I'm like, sorry. Yeah. Like, I need this spot.
Yeah.
But now he has like a little corner of the shelf. So he's going to...
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's so funny.
But yeah. I think I've always something to learn.
Yeah.
Always. Like, I'm trying to learn to, like I said before, delegate.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
That's a hard one. I think it's, although I was just saying earlier that now that I have people in place that I feel like I can, and it get to the point sometimes where you have to.
I know.
I start to get used to it.
I know.
And I'm like, can you just do this? Can you just? Yeah. And then I'm like dishing out little tasks. And then I'm like, wait.
I know.
I have to go back to my.
I saw you.
I have to
you're
go to work.
Someone.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, we hired a new photographer.
Amazing.
She's actually a business owner in Clifton Park.
Cool.
And she used to own K9 to 5.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amy Zunes.
That's cool.
Yeah. So she's I think I said her name right. I'm pretty sure I did.
You're gonna lay awake at night.
Oh yeah, I'll ask her for sure. But she takes pictures of dogs.
Yeah.
And I guess pets in general. And they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
And but she wants to do photography full time.
Let's
so
hope a person is better than a dog sitting
yes.
still
Oh
and
gosh.
listening.
Well,
if she can master
oh
the
gosh,
pet
yes,
photo,
she
can master.
She's magical.
That's
and it was to
awesome.
the point where I was in the studio with her and I was like, I think I should leave. I'm just making it harder for you now. But yeah, she's already got down portraits and she's
That's
learning
amazing.
real estate photography. And then we have Connor, who knows everything but drone at this point, and he's learning that. And then we have the podcast studio, so we have David as our audio engineer.
That's so cool.
And it's like growing and growing in all of these different ways, and I can't be everywhere at once and do all of it.
It sounds like you've started to own that.
Yeah.
And know that.
Yeah. It's hard because there are a lot of things that only I can do still. And if someone's sick, it's me.
Yeah.
I have to step in. But that's fine. That's part of being a business owner,
Yeah.
But I can appreciate where you're coming from with I'm happy the way things are right now. But I actually had a conversation with a broker about this the other day. I was like, sometimes I do think, would life be simpler if I didn't want to have it all?
Yeah.
If I was just like, hey,
Yep.
I like this.
Right.
Right. This
Right.
is great.
Yeah.
But that's not how I'm made.
I know.
And you're the same way. It's like,
Same.
we're out there. We're go-getters.
I always tell myself, oh, come November, it's so nice to relax. But I'm like,
what am I doing?
Why is it crickets?
Yes.
Where are the inquiries coming in?
That's me too.
So
I'm like, I can't wait to take a break. And then I'm like,
but wait a minute.
what's going to happen next year?
Exactly. So that was another thing. I had 0 weddings.
Yeah.
Like I said, for 2024. And I was like, oh my God. Like, is this the fall of the Bev cart? And it was cool because I was able to book any last minute gigs. Like the corporate events would reach out a month prior. I'm like, I'm available. Let's go. And it just people
spiraled.
Spiraled.
Referrals.
Yeah. Referrals. I haven't paid for any crazy marketing. None. It's been my website, word of mouth, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm good.
You sell it.
I'm good.
Yeah. That's so cool.
But it was like crickets. Then I got an inquiry for Bev's booth in February. And not even, I can't even joke about this. Not even 20 minutes later, I got an inquiry the same night for Little Bev. I'm like, okay, this is my time to shine. This is my time to delegate.
Yeah.
So I did. I took both events. I'm going to be with Bev's booth, the 360 booth, because that's really technical.
Yeah.
Anything with a camera, technology scares me.
Yeah.
Something breaks on Bev cart, I can still shake a cocktail and I can still serve.
Yeah.
So I'm sending someone with Little Bev to the party, and I'm going with Bev's booth to the party, and we're going to crush it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good. I hope it works out really well for you because that could be a good little turning point for you where maybe you could kind of
I'll try not to
decide.
Be a pain in the neck with the bartender at Little Bev. I can't promise anything.
Yeah. That's good though. You take ownership, and that's, you have to, even though you can delegate certain things, you still have to ultimately be the owner of what happens and how it goes.
And I have to know what's best for myself and the business.
Yeah.
Which this will be okay. This is a smaller dinner party.
Yeah.
And it's a big anniversary. Grasshopper Heating and Cooling.
Oh, cool.
I'm doing Bev's booth with.
Yeah.
I did their 3-year anniversary last year. It was a blast. Great company. Yeah. Great people. So they asked me back for their 4-year anniversary, so I'm doing that. Yeah.
Super cool.
Pumped. Yep. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe that'll be the kickoff of late winter, early spring events.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Or maybe it won't be so seasonal, and
and then I'll just be year round.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
You could. There's so many things you could do to grow, but I feel like for you, it's going to be organic.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have to be at peace with whatever it is and love it.
Yep.
Or be like, oh, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I love to spend money. So
yeah.
I like getting all these off-season, quote-unquote, if you will. I mean, it's
like a surprise.
Really,
you weren't counting on it.
That's
how I feel, too, about, January, February gigs.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not going to say no to something, even if it's not something I would say during busy season. So, but then at the same time, and I was just talking about this, at the same time, things start to grow like in that area when it's busy season, and you're like, oh crap.
I know. Wait.
I'm glad I have people in place. Yeah. I'm glad it's not just like 24 of these a year all year long, but then you like if you get one or two, you can
Yeah.
kind of grow it slowly.
Exactly.
Which is like, you know, the better way of handling things.
Yes, I think so.
Though it doesn't usually work out that way.
No.
Like usually you're like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna hit the ground running, I guess. And
Story of my life.
Then you're in the
with everything.
trenches and you're
Yeah.
like, I thought I was gonna plan this better, right? Like I thought
Yeah,
I was totally gonna do this year better.
I know.
It doesn't usually.
Supposed to delegate. Nope, here I am doing
Yeah.
everything still.
Yeah.
No, 2025 is going to be my year to change a little of how I work.
Yeah.
That's what
Oh, really?
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's early.
Yeah.
I already
know.
broke dry January, so.
I was just gonna say, but I didn't want to bring it up. Yeah, no, I do feel good about this year. I think in general
good.
for a lot of small businesses.
Yeah.
I think, you know, it's been a few years now with COVID, and like I think it's still taking time for a full recovery.
Yeah.
But I think it's good to acknowledge how far we've come
Yeah.
and how much. And I think about like if COVID shut things down
Yeah.
for that long and we're doing this well,
Yeah.
then what's going to happen?
Right. What are we going to do?
That's why I'm like, who likes photography?
Yeah.
Who wants
You're
to
trying to
join
get
my team?
right. Build up.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Start-
God forbid
Start
something else
training
happens.
Chase and
Yeah.
Ellie now.
I know. Oh, wait, what was it the other night? Oh, so I'm a big espresso martini fan.
Yep.
And I have like,
You introduced me to those.
so here's the thing. I was going to bring you one tonight, but I wasn't
Oh.
sure. I forget if you like them or
I
not.
did. I do,
Ooh.
but I think it was late. So I was
Okay.
like, I don't know if I can.
Yeah.
I'll be like weirdly
Right.
tired and awake at the same time.
Laying in bed with your like.
Anxiety. Oh, here comes the anxiety. Thanks, Lindsay.
And the other night I was making one for, I think it was me and a friend. Someone stopped by and I was like, "You want espresso marti?" Oh, I call them espresso marties. You want espresso marty? And my kids like know the sound of the
Oh
shaker
my
now.
gosh.
I mean, I'm like, is this a good or a bad thing? Like, but they're like, "Mommy, you making your fun drink?" I'm like, "I sure am." Too funny.
It's so funny.
They're cute.
I got my first shaker set for
Oh, so fun.
my birthday from my husband.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was like a gold looking one.
Love
It
that.
has like, it's super cute.
love
And I
that.
was like, of course now I have to learn how to
Yeah.
make things because I
Yeah.
have no idea.
I want there's a matte black set I want. So if Anthony's listening to this for my birthday, in the middle of
You
February,
hear that, Anthony? Her birthday's coming.
and I want a matte black bar set. He's rolling his
there-
eyes right now.
Is there a brand?
I don't even know. I saw it at Target.
I was like, oh, okay, go to Target.
Yeah,
go to Target, Anthony.
Up and down the aisles. Find it.
If I find it, I'm gonna score it and then
gosh.
ask him to Venmo.
Seriously, thank you. Teamwork.
You're welcome, Anthony. I just got your wife's birthday gift. That does
funny.
sound cool. It's
Yeah,
matte.
it's just something
like
different.
matte.
Because I have the stainless steel, and I just feel like it shows everything.
Yeah,
and it
I
looks
was
kind of
just-
dirty and
yeah.
sloppy, so I want to do something different.
It is kind of hard to wash the gold one without like,
Right.
especially we have super hard water.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
And at my events, I don't dare do anything glass related.
oh,
Because
scary.
I'll break something
Yeah.
or
That's
whatever.
me too.
Yeah.
I would be a terrible bartender.
Oh, we've had some funny moments. Like, we're just like, at some point, I'm like, how did I get so clumsy?
Yeah.
Like, I'm knocking stuff over and we're bumping into each other. It's hilarious. We can find the funny things in like the crazy times. Like
Yeah.
when there's like, at a wedding, like especially when there's like a ceremony's over, it's literally, we laugh because like everybody's just running to the bar for cocktail hour.
You should do
And
a
we're-
time lapse of
Yeah,
all of your
I should.
of your
But, like,
weddings, and they're like,
and we think we're ready.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, my mixers are here. My
Yeah.
bottle is open. And
And
then
then
they're
you're
all
like,
coming, and I'm like, ice flying behind me. I'm bumping into people, like, who's bartending with me. And we're like, what the hell?
Do you have any crazy stories that you can tell? Like anything that?
Well, I did have to, like, take a dent out of the front of my Bev
Oh
cart.
no!
Someone's forehead.
Oh,
was a funny story.
That's not good.
Another funny story, late night. Okay, so, like, we do a select drink menu.
Yeah.
2 to 3 cocktails and beer, wine, non-alcohol options, whatever. But I don't like to say no. So when someone asks for something, if I have it, I'll make it. So someone wanted a Dirty Shirley. So it's just Sprite, vodka, and grenadine. Like, I had that. I had everything. So, well, the Dirty Shirleys took off. And it was the drink of the night. I'm flying through Sprite and flying through vodka, but the drinks were like a Moscow Mule and like a mojito and stuff like that. So I needed the vodka. But luckily we had plenty of vodka. So it was just so funny. Dirty Shirley, Dirty Shirley, Dirty Shirley. And at the time, my mom was bartending with me this wedding. And I just put her in charge of the Dirty Shirleys. So it's like 11:30 at night. We're about to do last call, and they come rush. The DJ always announces last call, and then there's another. I should do a time lapse of like everybody just but running. This time lapse would be a lot more funny. Oh no! Everybody's feeling no pain running towards the bev cart. So they come running, and someone literally orders 7 Dirty Shirleys. And my mom's back is to the guest because she's just like filling the shakers with ice or something. And I go, Mom, I need 7 more Dirty Shirleys. And she goes, do it your effing self. And we just started laughing so hard because that's just like how she was joking. Yes, she ended up making this. She's like, are you kidding?
I imagine that you have a lot of like slab happy moments towards the end of this.
Yes.
And that's how I get too at the end of a wedding. We're just like, you're tired. Yeah. You're go. Yeah. And then, but it's a lot of energy that you're absorbing. Yes. And at the same time,
you're so right.
Yeah. And
lots
then,
of energy.
Yeah. And then you're just like, sometimes if I'm shooting with another photographer, I just look across the room and we're like making weird faces just to stay alive.
I had run out of cherries for the Dirty Shirley, probably like an hour prior. We were throwing blueberries in the Dirty Shirleys. No one knew. Everyone's like, oh, that's a good-looking orange. Or like, I'm like, oh my gosh. We were just throwing anything. And that's just like, those are the stories that stick with you too. Like, we still laugh about that. Like, my mom is trying to find some Dirty Shirley sign for me to hang in Bevcart. Like, it's just hilarious.
I know. I was just thinking, I was like, now Dirty Shirley has to be like a signature drink for.
So it's just like, right. Like, should we have it for?
Yes. Now I feel like we should have Dirty and you got to bring the blueberries.
Yeah. Right? Too funny.
A Dirty Shirley actually sounds delicious.
It's actually really good.
And it would be really fun.
Yeah, it's really good. But yeah, it's just funny things like that. And, you know, my best friend Kelsey and I, you know, it doesn't even take 20 minutes to come up with names for people. Like, I'm not going to get into the name. Nope, not going to talk about it. But like, oh, here comes like so-and-so. And like, and it's
a lot of fun.
What's fun about it is like trying to like hold back the laughter. During it. It's really funny. But we have so much fun.
That's awesome.
When I get past all the planning and all the stress and you wouldn't believe how much stress is lifted off my shoulders when I park the bev cart, unhitch it from the truck, and I'm like, we made it. Yeah. We are ready to go. I don't care if it breaks down on the way home or it gets a flat tire
I get that. Yeah, I totally
I just have to get to the event.
Do you have nightmares? Do you ever have nightmares about showing up with no alcohol or like?
I have my biggest nightmare, and my dad is always like, you're nuts.
Yeah.
I'm terrified to run over, I don't know, like a package of nails or something and blow all my tires. That is my biggest nightmare. Is that
what you worry about?
What am I going to do? Drag it? Like, how?
Yeah, that's the worst case scenario.
I have AAA
and it's all sitting there in your truck.
I'm like, but again, how would they get Bevcart on?
Yeah.
I'll go down a rabbit hole.
Look at you. You look panicked.
Do you see me? I'm
like, you need a Dirty Shirley. No, yes. So, like, as a photographer, I'm constantly, like, sometimes
batteries?
Yes, I'll pull over, even though I packed everything. And I do this for real estate shoots, too, because I'm driving, and I'm like, oh, I'm too happy right now. I have to panic for a second. Yeah. I'll pull over and I look in the back seat and I'm like rummaging through, but it's a constant. Yeah. I have nightmares. It's like the showing up to school naked thing, you know, nightmares that I show and like I have my camera and I'm ready to take pictures and nothing's happening, and then I look and there's no battery, and then there's no SD card, and then suddenly the camera isn't a camera anymore.
Oh my gosh.
So I get it. The nails.
Nails and all the tires.
Yeah.
I have 2 tires on each. So what is that? 2. Wait, what? 4 tires on Bevcart.
Okay.
Like 2 on each side.
Yeah.
all those going. Pop, 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 pop.
Oh,
what am I going to do?
Yeah. Yeah. What would you do?
I literally don't know, and I don't
pay AAA
thousands and
extra
thousands
money.
and thousands and thousands
You
of dollars.
never know. They might be like, well, what kind of event is this?
Yeah. Open bar all night. You stay. Be my bar back, and you can just drink all night. I don't even care.
That's so funny.
One time, oh my gosh, yeah, one time we were at a wedding in Glenville, which I love, nice and close. Something in my kegerator motor went.
Oh.
And we're standing there in the bev cart. It's a like 220 plus wedding. People, there's never not a line. So like the bartender and I didn't even like speak that whole day. We were just like making drinks.
Going, yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, I smell like, who's cooking? Where's the food truck?
Oh no.
Like I didn't see a food truck. And whoever I was bartending with was like, just keep drinking. Just keep making the cocktails. What are you doing? And I'm like, okay, but something smells like it's burning.
Yeah.
And I go to get a mixer out of my kegerator because it's also a fridge. So the kegs are in there, and then I keep a bunch of stuff in there. I open it. The cloud of black smoke that comes out.
Oh, my gosh.
I am just like...
So was it was in the fridge part?
In the kegerator, in the fridge part. So something on the motor went, which... at the end of the day, wasn't the worst thing to happen because it stayed cool. Like, we just didn't open the kegerator then. So the beer was fine. It stayed cold.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect the pouring. None of that. It was just something in the motor of the refrigerator went.
Weird.
It was a cloud of black smoke
like,
in the Bev
special effects.
I couldn't even see the bartender.
We also come with special effects.
And everyone was like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. And I panicked.
Yeah.
I think I called Anthony. I called my dad. I called everybody. I was like, you need to get your ass here right now.
Did they come?
Yeah, they did. And what were they going to do?
Yeah.
They're like,
hold your hand.
Yeah, that's literally what I need.
Yeah.
When I am panicking, I just need someone to tell me it's going to be
that's
okay.
the same. Same for me.
Why can't someone just tell me it's going to be okay?
It's going to be okay,
Thank
Lindsay.
you. Thank you. But that black cloud of black smoke.
Yeah.
Woof.
That's scary. That is scary because you don't, at that point, you're like, is this dangerous or how do I handle it?
And then, oh my gosh, it was just crazy. But
so how do people book you?
My website.
Okay.
Has like an email form. It'll go right to me.
What's your website?
www.thebevcart.com. Bunch of information, obviously, on my website. And then there's an contact form. I need some details like type of event, date, possible guest count if you know it, what you'd like served. And then it comes to me, and then I'll reach out or, social media.
You send a quote, or do you have like flat pricing or?
No, so that's like
it all depends.
Yeah. It all depends on the event.
Yeah.
More smaller, intimate events, I'll do an hourly rate. Weddings are usually per person. But for festivals, I sell the beer. So usually for the festivals, I have to pay a fee to be there anyway, a vendor fee. So that doesn't require a quote. I get to price the beers what I want. So.
And you're pretty much booked up for the rest of this year, or do you have some openings still?
Yeah. Fall, a couple weekends left. We're going on a family vacation at the end of April, so I kept that all open just because I was like, And then, summer. I'm assuming a lot of the corporate events I did will be repeaters, I hope.
Yeah.
So we'll see about that.
And you're going to be here in a couple weeks.
Headshot Happy Hour.
Yep. And I'm super excited about
Me
that.
too.
I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
It was so much fun last time.
It was.
I mean, your smile, I just feel like is brighter and bigger when you have a cocktail.
Yeah, I would agree.
Makes me more loose.
Yeah, I do think like sometimes people relax a little bit more after.
Yeah, we're going to have snacks and just kind of mingle, hang out.
Yep.
Pumped.
It was fun last year. And this year I think people know where we are now.
Yeah.
And we're doing better with our advertising this year.
Yeah, your studio was pretty new.
It was brand new.
Yeah.
It was brand spanking new.
I mean, you spent longer doing tours of the office, of the studio.
Yeah, because I'd never been here. So the good news is like now people know we're here. We've got other people helping to like get word out within the studio.
Yeah.
So but people doing social media and creating some stuff.
Yeah.
So,
and who doesn't need a new headshot every once in a while?
Especially January because it's a new year. A lot of like real estate agents move to a new brokerage or they go independent or you might be like looking for a new job. And
even just like I think I advertise on my social media, your LinkedIn or
branded.
like with my corporate job, we have Microsoft Teams.
Yeah.
And there's a profile picture on there.
Yeah.
Why
you want
not?
it to look good.
Yeah.
And to depict who you are.
Right.
Also.
Right.
Which is what I love about what we do here. We work with people and their personality.
Yeah.
And their comfort level. And we show them the result.
I mean,
right away.
Yes, which
so
is
that
huge.
If they're like, I look really bad, I could be like, all right, I know what to do. Let's adjust the angle. Let's change the lighting. Let's have you pose a different way.
You. Like, you're so easy to, like, I don't know.
Be uncomfortable in front of.
Literally.
That's what I get. People are like, you made me feel less uncomfortable. Because it's a lot of people, it's just not. I have to get my headshot. I'm making my team do it.
Gotcha.
And
I was going to say, I can do it.
I really don't want to do it.
Do it.
I am going to, but I get that uncomfortableness behind it. I think
sometimes it's a little, like, nerve-wracking. But even when I came in, I was setting up Little Bev. You were like,
come
here,
cute.
I got to practice with my camera. I got to set my camera up or something.
You look great. It was awesome.
I was so awkward, I felt like. But I was laughing because you were making me laugh.
It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
And I think this year we're going to do bigger backdrops so we can do, like, full, like, we could do full body headshots, but, like, just a little bit more.
I still want to come in like with my shakers.
My matte black. We got to get you an update. Yeah.
We'll get you an update. Like shaking.
Yeah. I'll bring my gold ones in.
Yeah. Just make sure there's no like fingerprints on
Yeah, I know. I'll be like with my microfiber. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Too funny.
Well, thanks for being on our
show.
This
was so much fun.
I knew you were going to love it.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to love it.
And I know,
everybody.
Like, you've had Anthony.
Yeah.
You've had me.
Yep.
Like, just blink if I'm your favorite person. If I'm your favorite Wolcott.